Hello everyone, Jak Syn here on behalf of Fiend.com and Future Daze, and today we're sitting with Stu and Brett of Outland. How you guys doing today?
We're doing fine. I mean, he's in proper lockdown. I'm staying positive. You know what I mean?
That's so great. I mean, I'm so glad that Brett could be here today. He looks great. I've never seen him look so good.
Yeah, he was complaining of a bit of a stiff neck earlier on today, but he's doing okay.
That's so great to hear. Oh man. So today we're going to ask you guys a couple of questions and see where it goes from here. You ready to do this?
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's great to be on your show, and really looking forward to this, bro.
And I'm looking forward to this moment so much because you guys are so amazing with everything you guys are doing. I love Outland, and tons of other people that I know, they love Outland as well. So thank you for putting in all that hard work you guys do with, you know, the recordings, the shows, all of that stuff.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it a lot. Actually, I've got a word in here from Brett, who would like to say hello as well, if that's possible.
Oh yeah, we would love to hear from Brett.
Hi, Jak Syn, Brett here. Really good to meet you. Sorry I couldn't be there in person. There's something called lockdown that's happening. But Stu had a great idea to teleport me to his house. Unfortunately, he only had cardboard on the other side, so I came out a little bit two-dimensional and a little bit stiff, but we'll get through.
That's so great. Thank you for that lovely message. You know what? It's so great to meet Brett as well. And you know what? We're going to have a great interview today. And I look forward to seeing you in person, Brett, soon. I look forward to that. What are three of your favorite moments from Outland?
I'll start on this answer. They've all been moments that have happened when we've held these live events that we've become a little bit famous for within the synth scene. One of the last moments was in Toronto at Outland Toronto last summer. We did a big event there, and it was a moment when FM Attack took to the stage. You know, it had been busy the whole day. I'd been running around like a crazy thing, not really speaking to anybody, and I got this moment to kind of just relax. And he played Little Angel off his Stellar album, and it was amazing. I was almost brought to tears, and that was a moment, you can call it that. Another moment was in London with Sunglasses Kid, when we did our first London show. Outland London 2017 was really big, a lot of people, close to about 700, and was seeing the look on Sunglasses Kid's face when he saw the queue outside. A lot of swear words, you know, it was crazy. A lot of people. That was a moment. And then another moment, just speaking about Dana again, is the first time she came over to perform in London. And actually the first time she performed Genesis with Nightcrawler live. So Nightcrawler came across from Spain, and boy, it was great. It was another one of those kind of moments. I mean, Brett has got some moments as well, and I'll speak on behalf of them. I know that he holds the moment that we came up with this Outland thing in high regard. You know, it took place in around 2016, 2017. He was at my place. We had a bottle of wine, and we kind of hatched this whole Outland plan. And I think we were about 75% there, but we could pretty much visualize where we were going to go with this, starting off with the live events, you know. So yeah, and they just keep on happening, these wonderful moments. Wonderful people, wonderful fans at the shows, and obviously really positive and wonderful artists.
That's so awesome. You know what I mean? Like the amount of love you guys have put into Outland, you can really see it. The events, the artist management, the recordings. Like Dana was mentioning earlier in an interview about like some of her favorite moments were at Outland events. She holds those events in such high regard. And like you were mentioning also too, like FM Attack, like seeing FM Attack live, I'm sure that was just epic. I mean, I would have loved to see FM Attack live, or haven't had a chance yet, but hopefully in the future, you know what I mean?
We've been really lucky. Although I come from a music promoter, I played drums as well. I come from a band background. Although I come from that background, we embarked on this whole journey within the burgeoning and new synthwave scene just to do live music. And we had to approach some really top-notch artists for our first show, Nina, Sunglasses Kid. Eddie Salone, who is one of the legends of the genre. And then obviously Time Cop 1983. And they put a lot of trust in us, to book them, number one. And then I guess that trust just continues going. It took a lot to get FM Attack out as well, but now that he knows us, we're best of mates. And I think that's what this scene is about, is just generating that trust between promoter and artist, now record label and artist. Because ultimately we're a bridge between the fans and the artists. We make synthwave a little bit more tangible for all the senses. So yeah, we're just glad we've got that trust going,
Yeah, and it seems like one large giant family, with you guys. Like, I remember Michael Oakley was also talking about this in one of the previous interviews, that he really feels that sense of community with Outland and all of you guys. It's just a beautiful thing. Another thing that was mentioned too was Holly Dodson. She was mentioning too that she has that love for you guys so much too from Parallels. So, I mean, it's just amazing to see all of the great work that you guys are doing over there. And like you were saying, you come from a promoter background. You have used those skills to help propel this synthwave scene forward. How has that differed from some of the other things that you've been a part of in the past that were not synthwave?
I guess what's different between this genre and the genres that I've worked in before is that we've actually got our back behind the genre. We're really pushing the ethos. And the whole reason why Outland started off from the beginning was to take synthwave to people, take it to live events. There were no live events going on in London at the time we started this thing. So it's taking it to people, but then also pushing it out a little bit more mainstream. I'd love to see the word synthwave, the word retrowave bandied about in mainstream media. I think it's important, and that's what I think we're striving for. And that makes it different from just promoting a rock act or something like that. So there's a lot more passion involved behind what we do.
That's definitely true. There is a lot of passion behind it. A lot of people who are into the genre, like, it is a very passionate thing for them. And it's great to see that you guys are pushing it to the forefront. I know a lot of people, they say, oh, well, it's a very niche genre, but I think it's going to a very broad spectrum of people. I like to see it as a rainbow. You know what I mean? You have all these diverse races and of people who are into it, with different backgrounds. People who are into hip hop, people who are into techno and trance, people who are into rock music, metalheads. It doesn't matter. They've all been touched in some way by this genre, whether it's been through movies or hearing an artist or watching a commercial. It seems like it's just kind of seeping, this retro feeling is just kind of seeping into all forms of our culture everywhere. So bringing synthwave to the forefront, I think, is an important job.
I think one of the last bastions to conquer, one of the last blocks to conquer are the youth. We're talking about 16 to 22-year-olds. I actively seek very young looking people at our shows. Sounds bad, but it's really just to ask them the question as to how they understood, how they came about the genre. We'd like to break it to that ultra viral market, which is university students. So that's our modus operandi for the moment through the live events as well that we're doing.
Well, that's so great to hear. How did you and Brett meet, and what has your journey been like?
Well, I think, Brett, do you want to answer that one? Yeah? Okay. Brett wants to answer that one, mate, so I'll just let him answer.
So Stu and I grew up in the same part of the world, same circle of friends. This was in the late 80s, early 90s. We were all bodyboarders and surfers. And that was about the time when Stu got into drumming and the guys started a band. And then forward in time to London, most of our mates moved on, but we were still both London-based. And we would hang out a lot, and we shared love of music, and we had other interests in common. And it was at the time I'd been searching for this sound, this music, like I heard from the Drive soundtrack. It was like nothing else I knew, and I wanted more. So that led me to Gunship, Time Cop 1983, and others. And Stu was tapping into this also around about the same time. So we decided to do a deep dive, and that's when we discovered synthwave, for lack of a better term. And going down this rabbit hole with Stu has been incredible.
Thanks, Brett.
That's such an amazing story. You know, you guys had a simple beginning, like, you know, found the love of music together, and you just continued on that journey from there. I'm sure you guys have had your ups and downs here and there, but all in all, you guys seem to have a really, really solid relationship.
Yeah, it's been great. You know, Brett has qualities which I don't have, and I have qualities which he doesn't have, which makes this thing work really well. When it comes to the live shows, we get in our positions. It's almost like playing a really top sports game. You know, Brett has his position, I've got my position, and we kind of make it work. And Brett's always been a great visualizer, and I'm the great materializer. So that's pretty much how Outland was born from the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's very important, like to have those two sides, at opposite ends of the spectrum, like helping the other, along the way. That's kind of sort of the same thing, like with me and Evie with Fiend and everything. It's like I'm the guy who's like very outgoing. I like to talk and everything, and she's very business oriented. So it's like these two areas kind of feed off of each other, and it really, really makes a successful recipe.
Absolutely.
What was the inspiration behind building Outland?
I'm going to let Brett answer this one, seeing as though he's itching to get involved here again. So here we go. What's the inspiration behind building Outland?
Well, the music inspired us, absolutely. At that time, there wasn't anywhere to immerse oneself in this incredible sound, at least not in the UK. And we wanted to experience it live, so we decided to do something about that. We pulled our resources, made some inquiries, we begged, borrowed, and stole. And the result was the Clapton Grand gig back in 2017. And it was epic. And it always amazes me how an idea with some hard work and lots of help can become something tangible and evolve into a vision.
There you have it.
And it's just been going up and up and up from there. I know that the main goal is to push synthwave and to really kind of bring it to the world. And I know that a lot of the stuff in your area back then, before you guys started doing Outland, like there really wasn't much of this being played anywhere, or this being exposing this to the public. It's so great to see that that's how you guys like push forward with that.
It's amazing how around the world a lot of promoters have started cropping up and putting on really good shows. You've got the Miami Cyber Nights guys out in Germany. Across the pond, we've got the Synth City guys up in Seattle and Portland, VHS Vision in Sweden. And there's also Dan down in Florida doing junk parties. He had FM Attack do a DJ set, and obviously what you're doing as well. I think it's important, it's great that the promoters are coming up and doing the job and really pushing the scene in a live environment, because ultimately that's the best measure of understanding where the genre is putting bums on seats, basically. You can have artists with vanity stats that are through the roof and Spotify plays and thousands of plays in Helsinki or hundreds of plays in London. But ultimately, if you're filling venues, that's a really good measure, I think, of where the genre is heading, which is only up.
That is very true. We've been really seeing a lot of artists and a lot of promoters really kind of coming up because they've been exposed to the sound and they want to share it with the rest of the world. They feel this inherent need inside of them to kind of go, you know what? I want to bring this to the forefront in some way to help, give back to the scene that's given me so much.
Yeah.
And we've seen a lot of that. We see a lot of that where we are. We see a lot of that around the world. And all of the little things like cropping up over time, it's funny that it started, gosh, it seems like it's over a decade. You know what I mean? It seems like it's come so far in such a small amount of time, and it's still continuing to build and build and build. An interesting thing that Michael Oakley did say, he was saying that when you look at the earlier synthwave music with a lot of artists that were here a little bit over a decade ago, who were creating their music, and it had this sound that was really like 80s. You could really tell it was like really heavily 80s. But as we've transitioned, since then, and we kept going, it's like it's been mixed with this style that's a little bit more palatable to, you know, a lot of people who listen to a lot of mainstream stuff now. So it kind of like, so bridging that gap, it kind of like makes it more accessible to newer people as we go on. And you start seeing a lot of cross-genre stuff too happening. So that's just a great thing to see, that people are creating and carrying it forward.
Yeah, and clearly we've got the inspiration, you know, cutting through and seeping through into the mainstream. Yeah, you've got artists like The Weeknd and Blinding Lights, which is touched with the sparkle of synthwave. Some would argue. When you had Taylor Swift exploring synthwave aesthetic in a song of hers from like 2013, I think. The genre doesn't get named, but you can hear it all around you, and I think that's really fantastic. It would just be great if it had a name to it. In fact, I've got the story to tell. So, you know, it's all about verifiable and notable links and reports. And the BBC Newsbeat ran an article on Blinding Lights and on Dua Lipa's new song. And he was clearly a fan of synthwave, because they interviewed Tim from the Midnights as well. But I didn't see the term synthwave or retrowave in this article. So I went and tweeted, hey man, this is synthwave. You got to listen to the Midnights a little bit more. And hey, here's Ollie Ride, here's FM84. And he got back to me, he said, oh yeah, you know, it's quite right, synthwave. I'll just update my article. And right in the middle, he plopped the old sentence, the music commonly known as synthwave, you know. So there you have it. And I think there's a responsibility, at least for those that want to see some mainstream recognition out of the genre, is to just push, you know, keep on hashtagging the term synthwave. If there are people that are writing about it that come from notable, you know, establishments, hit them up on it. Say, hey man, this is synthwave. Add it to your article, you know. And I think that's important. It's just going to help everybody. It's not only going to help the guys at the top of the ladder, but also the guys in the middle. I mean, there's so many artists out there now. It's ridiculous. So much good music. And I think that if it goes a little bit more mainstream, you're going to have everybody happy at the end of the day. Of course, you're always going to have your purists, you know, we don't want to go mainstream. But what can you do? You can't please everybody, yeah.
I do feel like, you know, it is helping to propel it forward. And it's like, it is up to us as people to, you know, like expose it to other people that may not know about it or want to get into it. I know I love to hashtag synthwave. I love to hashtag the hell out of synthwave, outrun, retrowave, dark synth. It's all under that giant umbrella. And you know, you see a lot of like you were mentioning, like you see a lot of famous people like Chris Evans, one of his you know, Captain America, one of his favorite artists of all time is the Midnight. He loves
Absolutely.
the Midnight. I mean, he did a couple of years ago, he did the fundraiser, had the Midnight perform at a fundraiser. It's just so great to see that. And I do try to tell people, like, whenever they come out to the events, when we do like the Nightwave shows or the San Junipero shows, or, you know, even my event like Future Daze, I always, you know, tell people, like, yes, this is what it is. This is what the genre is. It's synthwave. You know what I mean? Listen to it, enjoy it, share it with your friends. You know, don't hold it in. Don't say, oh, this is mine, you can't have it. No, expose it to the world, because that is the way it gets heard. That is the way it gets shared. That is the way it explodes. Yeah, and we are heading in that direction.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, we're big proponents of just pushing it out there and you know, really introducing as many people to the genre as possible.
What lessons have you learned from your endeavors between the artist management, live events, and your record label?
You know, they're three different animals. I've been proficient in all three of those areas before in previous times. I guess in terms of lessons, for me, it's about striking a balance between firm, fair, and funny, without having too much of the F word in between. Because it takes a lot of control. I mean, the live events take a lot of control. You know, from the label perspective, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes there. It's a lot of work, the contracting, ensuring that you're doing the artist good, you know, promoting, and then we got release strategies in place. The artist management, that's kind of a breeze because we know how to deal with artists, we know how to deal with venues, so therefore we know how to deal with promoters because we're promoters ourselves. So we help FM Attack quite a bit with his shows. Unfortunately, at the moment, they've all been postponed. Yeah, lessons. I mean, perhaps Brett could speak a little bit more about this.
They're all different animals, but still require the same passion, purpose, and patience. We're all in this together, seriously. We are all the genre, all of us. And the fans need the artists, and the artists need the fans, unless they want to be the only person who listens to the music. We like to see ourselves as some sort of bridge or portal connecting artists and fans. We're a part of the process, bringing some tangibility to the genre. It's hard work, but it's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, luckily for us, we haven't learned any hard lessons at this point. Everything has worked like clockwork. You know, Outland Toronto was a big thing. Yeah, we had to get artists from, you know, the Netherlands to Toronto, from the UK to Toronto, from all across the States to Toronto. We had to put on the show. We could have learned a really hard lesson over there, but we didn't. And I guess in my mind, my hope is that we never have to learn a hard lesson. And we hope that no other synthwave promoter has to learn a hard lesson. You know, I think it's important to learn the lessons and then just move forward in a positive way.
It is very true, you know, and it's very simplistic at its heart, at its core. It's very simplistic, you know. It is, you know, between the artists and the fans. Like, that's what it's all about. I know a lot of times with shows, it's like there's a lot of things that happen, especially when managing artists and stuff like that. There's a lot of hard work that goes into that, like trying to juggle everything. But I think, especially when you're handling everything at one time, it's like it's important that, you know, hey, if you're winning, everybody's winning. If everybody's winning, you know, it's a success. And you guys have been doing a great job with that. I mean, you guys have so many amazing artists under your label and your artist management. It's just great to see that everybody's connected in this way with you guys. I would really love to go over there and experience one of your events. I remember seeing like video and photos from previous events, and I go, oh my God, wow, this is great. This is amazing. You guys are doing such a bang-up job. What's next for Outland in the future?
Yeah, there's lots going on in terms of the whole mechanics of the label, of the events. I think I've obviously just touched on to what the plans are with the events. We've got a couple of events, you know, coming up now. We've got Retrowave Deluxe, which is a kind of a boutique retrowave party with La Avenue, New York Aids, Duet, Jordan F out from Australia, Dana Jean, and Highway Superstar. So that's been pushed over to August. We've got Ollie Ride coming up as well. We're promoting a show. He's up in Glasgow, and then I'm managing his London show for him. But that might also be postponed. We've got to see with that. And then we've got a boat party as well on the Thames. We've got this amazing thing that we've, you know, crammed 200 people on a boat and have some synthwave artists DJing. That's supposed to happen on the 1st of August, but that might be postponed as well. You know, we've got a ton of stuff coming out on the label. We've got CDs dropping and tapes and cassettes and LPs dropping for Dana Jean, for her album Megawave, which I think is absolutely amazing. Morgan Willis's album Dreamer, New York Aids, their album Returning Home. And then we've got some releases coming out from Lost Outrider, Taurus 984, and Polychrome. Now that sounded like a huge sales pitch. We got the game soundtrack as well. I mean, there's so much on the go. I think that Brett as well, you know, he can perhaps chime in here and give a broader perspective of you know, of what we're trying to do here. Brett, do you want to have a go? Yeah? Okay.
What's next for Outland? What's next for Synthwave? Well, honestly, ideas are not the problem. It's hard to be patient, but we're taking one step at a time and building. When we're unlocked, more live gigs perhaps, that's where it all started. Perhaps a really big one, like a festival again. Releasing more amazing artists, and also considering Synthworld. It's like a utopian, dystopian Disneyland or Universal Studios or Secret Cinema, themed on the synthwave, retrowave genre, and big on the music. It'll be a ridiculously immersive experience. That's something cool. Lots of ideas.
Well, wow, that is pretty impressive. I like that last little part there. It perked my ears. Wow. Okay. I gotta say that sounds freaking amazing. I mean, I can't wait to see that happen. Wow.
I don't know why we do it to ourselves. You know, we keep on raising the bar for ourselves. It's a strange thing. I guess we grew up very competitive, you know, within the surfing world. You know, who could catch the biggest wave? And I guess we're trying to do that now in a kind of a musical perspective. You know, so you know, as long as we've got the soundtrack of Daniel Gene Phoenix's Mega Wave behind us, then we can do this, man.
Got that right. I mean, you know what? I gotta say, Mega Wave, that album between her and Power Nerd, oh my God, so amazing. I was telling her that, you know, like every song in there is really, really great. I love every song on that album. I've listened to it all in its entirety. It's amazing. But you know, there's a couple of standout ones, but the one that I really, really absolutely love, the one funkiest one on there that I was just like, oh my God, was Sunrise Stands. I was like, wow, you know what? Right there. It brings the funk, brings the power, and it really kind of gets you in the mood. That whole album just really kind of puts your day in perspective for you. And to everybody out there, be sure to check that album out. I am so excited to see all of the new things coming out from you guys. I'm so excited to hear all of the new music you guys are going to be putting out from all the artists. It's going to be amazing. And you know what? I really hope that, you know, these events come back sooner rather than later, because with everything going on in the world right now and all the uncertainty happening, it's just great to see that you guys are still pushing and you guys are still creating, and you guys are still making the magic happen in any way that you know how.
Yeah, it's fortuitous in a sense that, you know, starting the label, you know, last year has led us to this point where I'm actually keeping extremely busy. Considering that there aren't any events on. Our staple is doing live events, but the label is kind of at the moment has taken over because there aren't live events, and you know, we're hellishly busy. And I think being productive is important, and I think it's important for everybody within the scene to just remain productive, keep churning out the songs, keep planning events, because who knows, 2021 is going to be the year for synthwave.
You're damn right. 2021 is going to be the year for synthwave, right there. Everybody out there, wise words from Stu and Brett. 2021 is going to be the year, and Outland is going to be right there.
Thanks, man.
Thank you so much for sitting with us today, Stu and Brett. I really appreciate this. Thank you to everybody who tuned in to watch us have this conversation. Oh, look at that Time Cop 1983 shirt right there. Ah, rad.
You can see he's very thrilled about his shirt. He's chuffed, very chuffed.
He is really thrilled about that shirt. And it's a great shirt, I'll tell you. I got to get my hands on one of those.
Thank you.
But to everybody out there, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time. And if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe to the Tour Fiend YouTube channel. We have plenty more artist interviews on the way. And be sure to follow Outland in all of their endeavors, you know what I mean? Because they're doing some really amazing work over there. So thank you guys so much, and I look forward to seeing you guys in person really soon.